This is 356 to Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you like to sponsor upcoming shir or more of the Arukh HaShulchan, please contact me directly. We very greatly appreciate it. Today we're doing Siman Reish Mem Ches, Save Base through tests, I believe. And we're talking about traveling. Base, Pirish Atam. Why are you only allowed to leave in a ship 3 or more days before Shabbos? So Rabbi Yochanan says because of Isur Tchumen. Isur Tchum. Klamar. The valley B'Sfina G'dayla Olech is Rakma Mai Mukim Yosim HaSorat Tvachim Mut B'Chol Inyan. If you have a large ship, it always travels in more than 10 Tvachim depth because of the draft of the ship. So therefore, there's no issue of Tchumen. They include the Malam Be'asora B'Mayim. Because there's no concept of Tchum of 2,000 amos, limitation 2,000 amos. If you're more than 10 Tvachim above the ground, meaning the ground underneath the water, the floor of the sea. Which later on Shulchan Aruch. About a small boat. We're afraid that there aren't 10 Tvachim of water above the ground, the bed of the body of water, whatever it is. And of course, if that's the case, A, you're not allowed to go 2,000 amos if you're within 10 Tvachim of the bed of the sea or lake, whatever it is. And B, also, you're not allowed to go from less than 10 Tvachim from the ground to more than 10 Tvachim from the ground. It's going to go outside Tchum. So why is it more than 3 days before Shabbos? Because then, if you're going chutz Tchum, it's basically a coerced against your will. It's a very novel idea. But since the 3 days prior to Shabbos, Shabbos, which are connected to the Shabbos, as if you're deliberately going to push aside Shabbos. Also, for Dvar Mitzvah, however, Rabbanan did not make such a decree. There is no Daraisa connection to Chum, which we know the Daraisa is 12,000 amos, and even that it's not a chiyuv like the other Melech Shabbos. Because of the pleasure of Shabbos. First 3 days, people are seasick. And they're not calm and placid. There's some people who regurgitate. And some people lie down without any capacity to stand. That's forbidden. I have not been at sea since I was 2 years old, so I have no idea what it's like nowadays. And I'm not sure with modern cruises that this still applies. But certainly this was true for most of human history. And therefore it's also. So we're going for mitzvah, not concerned with the negation of Einik Shabbos. The Oisem mitzvah potter mitzvah, because once you're involved in the mitzvah and you got on the boat for the mitzvah, you're put for the mitzvah of Einik Shabbos, which is an interesting idea. It's great. This would only be a prohibition by the high seas, where people get seasick, and not in rivers. This goes even the greatest rivers. Rivers do not disrupt the equilibrium of the human being. That only the sea disrupts its equilibrium. He says because kind of all the salt in the water. I didn't know what seasickness had to do with water. I thought it had to do with vibrations and such like. But in any event, perhaps it's also because of the salt. So why does the Shas mention the difference between rivers and seas? The Mishum Delashon Ema Fliegen is Fina Shach Raka Yamim. Because language in and of itself, mafliegen, right? It means to set sail on a long journey. So that really only applies to seas, which is setting sail to a distance alone, and not to rivers. The ship went the great distance in the sea. Kafuta most believe Yom and the pasuk in Oz Yashir, the depths froze in the middle of the sea. Tigan Yerushalmi says Palgas the Yama Rabba, and Palgas I guess has to do with the Great Sea with Plifliga, and evidently that means there has to be a great deep in order to have haflaga. It sets sail in the Great Sea, which then refers to Mediterranean. On Erev Shabbos, a person mitzvah Rabus Kamar. He's saying the Yom HaGadol, that feel the Yom HaGadol var mitzvah fleet. It's not specifically Yom HaGadol, but even the Yom HaGadol, one can set sail on Friday for the var mitzvah. But that which you're not allowed to go for an optional activity, less than 3 days for Shabbos, have a b'choyam. It's true about all seas. Therefore, he wrote by the prohibition, you can't set sail in a boat less than 3 days. They didn't mention the Great Sea. And the Arukh HaShulchan says in brackets, evidently there are several questions which he has resolved by pointing out that Yom HaGadol is only used as a chiddush l'kula, not as a part and parcel of the prohibition. Dalit, shitas ba'amor, who the isum nesha yam vishitas ba'amor, and the ba'amor is the isum mishum shayamim b'cheska sakana. That traveling the sea is dangerous. Me'asibos halulos liyordeyam, from those things which are potentially occurred to the people go down to sea in ships. You can see back it says Yordeyam, those go down to sea in ships for Gomer. Yalu Shoim Yeru to Homos, they'll go up to the skies, down to the depths. The Gomer Yitzchil Hashem, and they cry to God in their anguish. Gomer Umutal Chol Shabbos, and there is a good likelihood of desecration of the Sabbath. Shabbos, so therefore 3 days before Shabbos, it's called prior to Shabbos. Shabbos it seems as if you're making a specifying or stipulating they're going to be Chal Shabbos. That's true also. Lahafrish, somebody who go out land distance to deserts, any place of danger. In those cases, he's quite likely he's going to Chal Shabbos because there's nothing which is going to withstand Pikuach Nefesh, and of course that will cause you to Chal Shabbos. Also, according to this, before you get to go out to a desert within 3 days of Shabbos. Times the Gankin ain't a Issarak beyond me, but no, of course, according to this also, the prohibition in seas and not in rivers. Of course, we don't make such zeros on our own, but logic dictates that a person should not sit on an Erev Shabbos, even in an airplane, if one is going to come reasonably close to Chilul Shabbos. HaChacham ain't a barosha. The many people are makpid on Fridays not to leave after midday because of a chashash of coming to Chilul Shabbos. But again, we don't make these zeros on our own. I don't think the Arukh HaShulchan is going to bring that up, but I wouldn't be surprised if we'll tell you in that regard. Perhaps not here. Anyway, hey, the Ramban goes out to Ramban writes another reason. This boat is going only for the Jew. In the 50s and 60s, when Jews still went to Israel by boat, there was the Lubavitcher Rebbe was very, very much involved in trying to prevent Jews from taking Tzim, the national Israeli shipping line, because of various issues of Chilul Shabbos which took place. The other poskim, I think, Moshe responded to Lubavitcher Rebbe's request to be involved. But nowadays, I don't know anybody who travels by ship there, so unless they're going from Greece. And even then, I don't know if it's close enough to go by boat. I think it is. Anyway, be as it may. I'm babbling a bit, I apologize. So the boat is going just for a Jew. And the sailors who are sailing the ship are compelled in every boat do on Shabbos Malachos D'Oraisa, Malachos which are Torah level Malachos, kosher, like tying, Umati and untying, etc. Therefore the Jew is chartering the boat. It's chartering the boat near Shabbos. It seems that the sailors are his H's Milchal Shabbos. But if it's 1 or 3 days before, and then they don't have that same Maris Ayin. It seems pretty clear, or rather, it seems that he's doing it on his own volition. So therefore, the boat's going not for the purpose of the Jew. Gesfina Shalom, like our ships in the days of the 1800s when they were going for many passengers more and cargo. Muti Stolen Kaz, but Masashir, they can go wherever he wants, including on Friday. Pisa as a shopping minute Shalano, therefore it's good, we can reconcile our custom. Olam in the entire world, Shemafli was seen after Rabbi Shabbos, he will set sail even on Rabbi Shabbos. Fa'afil b'Shabbos they can shvisa, even on Shabbos itself if they enter the boat beforehand, as we shall see. Shita Sarif, according to the Rif, who holds that the issue is because of Shabbos, and the Taisvis, who holds that the issue is what? The Taisvis said the issue is, I think you might make flotation devices. Was the issue according to Taisvis? Yeah, and the other issue according to the Rif, the Taisvis, and the Mora said it's because of the Sakana, which makes it like as if you're chartering Chilul Shabbos. According to all these, we can't find a good hector for this. But according to opinion of Benachana, our minhag also seems to make sense because we don't have this because our ships have a very deep draft. The Ruba overwhelming majority of the time, our boats do not go in places where there's less than 10 feet them the ground, even if they're going in the rivers. In brackets, Ov Shalom Somchel Rashbam B'Tois Severim Mem Gimel Dibur Maska Halacha Shedocha Brisa Melacha and Sham. He rejects this brisa of the prohibition 3 days before Shabbos. Achar Rishem Loki Budvar Klaba. Most Rishem do not go with this Rashbam. I be so Amnam HaBahag Shebi Atur Nirish Shesavik Moisai. The Bahag seems to actually told the Rashbam. Much because of our Gon Abuav Shevi HaBeis Yosef Maria Abuav. But the Beis Yosef himself does not hold. Maria above was like, who was his Rebbe? See there. And he was Daiti. So now it says, so Arukh HaShulchan was expanding a previous sif. And now he's saying, to embark on ships less than 3 days before Shabbos. From the Bryce itself, Yeshua Shittas Ramban. From the Bryce itself, there's evidence from the Ramban that it's only when the craft is specifically chartered for a Jew. But it's interesting, going to this yacht would be a problem, right? Because the yacht is specifically the Jew's craft. But anyway, when you go on the ship, you stipulate with the captain that he should desist on Shabbos, even though he's not going to desist. He has to make this stipulation with the owner of the boat. Later on, if the owner takes the boat on Shabbos and doesn't rest that day, and so they don't have to protest against it. It's going on at Dvar Mitzvah, Shemaflik Erev Shabbos, when you set sail Erev Shabbos, or within 3 days. Why don't we require that stipulation in all work which you give a non-Jew to do as a contract? Because here, when the Jew himself is sitting there, I'm sorry, here the Jew himself is sitting there, he chartered it and is sitting, chartering the boat and he's sitting in the boat. Nevertheless, regardless, about a large ship, which takes cargo, and most of the people who are in the ship are not Jews. It's only like a joke. Tonight, in Bala Swedish Shabbos, that the Jew should make a stipulation with the master of the ship that he should stop on Shabbos. They're going to laugh at him. But say home along. Okay, just leave. We don't need you. And if on the other hand you're going to reveal to the captain, even if you don't listen to me, I'm still going to stay in the ship. This is more astonishing. To say to the captain, I'm going to make a ruse right now. I'm going to do a legal fiction. So we're talking about a ship which is being chartered by a Jew for a Jew. Then as a shopper, it makes sense. It's have to make a stipulation. It's rational. Whether you actually have to make the stipulation, Rambam Shulchan Apostle you have to make the stipulation. But Torah Sakra Shingamli, you don't have to make a stipulation. Ayin Shah. Zayin. Omnam Gam Shita Zerifat Teisva More Lima Rabbein Ramah B'Siv Dal Chusa Klai Yisrael. Even according to all those other opinions as to the underlying reason for not going in the boat, the Ramah is Mlamitz Chus. Find out Pishit Rabbeinu Tam, based on Rabbeinu Tam in the Mordechai, Mishnah Shabbos. The virus Shus Lo Mikarak to tell you that optional activity, which is for which you cannot embark less than 3 days before Shabbos, is only if you're going as a tourist. If you're going for commerce or even to visit a friend, actually, Dvar Mitzvah, it's already considered Dvar Mitzvah. Rabbeinu Ramah. Ramah says, some people say, anybody is a person going for commerce or visit a friend. It's not considered optional activity unless it's going to as a tourist. Okay, so a cruise ship would be a problem. Okay, some people place the lean the lean in terms of going on the ships. Balichas Sharon also go on a caravan. Toshlosh Yom within 3 days of Shabbos. Kichoshvi Makol Levar Mitzvah, because they consider everything Levar Mitzvah. You can't protest against them. Ki yesh lam smoke, they have on what to rely on Kalashonai. Vafi yesh lam zoynas v'olech l'schor, even if he already has sustenance at home, it's going on commerce. Alarvacha for more money. Next to Levar Mitzvah, that's enough of Levar Mitzvah for the leniencies to kick in. That's what we're going to because certainly the gross chavos he has to go collect the outstanding loans which may be lost. Mishnah adds that to collect money from a non-Jew who is sick, as long as he is not dying, is not called definite loss. So he's like, and that's from Rambam. He's like with Chumrah. El Yerabah is lenient on this. It's no worse than going for commerce, which Lord Ramah considers to be a not a Dvar Rishus. Okay, back to Arukh HaShulchan. Because she left me Asara. Wow, to travel, I mean, you guys have released a slave for that purpose, despite Lom Bayim Tavodu, also to go down in the minion. Stam is considered to be a Dvar Mitzvah. Acham Aborish Koyim Forim, which is a ferry boat. Usfina Katana and a small boat, Alechas Mayim, which goes in very shallow water. Nechlu Gdoilim, there's a Machlekes Yesh, Osim Yesh Matirin, whether they be lenient or stringent. Ufa Ashkenaz no Logel in Germany, evidently their minhag is to be lenient. It's in the bracket Ein Shar Chuvas Yukhan Al B'Shem Chadas Yor B'Shem Yaakov B'Etz Kashnis Yukhan Chuvas Maram Ziskin Ruthberg, etc. But that's only if you're going back and forth on a ferry from one side to the other side, but not outside of the Tchum. Outside Tchum, the ferry would be just problematic, or the small boat as well. Ches. Kolim Shloshi, I mean, if it's more than 3 days for Shabbos, on Yom Rishon Sheni Shlishi, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. And Shmuel writes for the Magen Avraham that Wednesday is Osir, but that the Gra brings the name many Rishonim that the 3 days are which are not travel are 3 days including Shabbos. So it means that Thursday, Friday, Shabbos are also, but Wednesday would be mutter, not like the Arukh HaShulchan says here. In any event, so either Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or maybe even Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Mutter, I feel you're allowed to go even if it's like a canal boat which is being drawn by animals on the shore. They pull it on the banks by ropes. It's not like sitting in a carriage. Also, which is forbidden, because maybe you're going to cut a branch used as a switch. Because since the animals are distanced from the boat, I'm sure Logos was that they didn't make such a decree. Obviously, that's issue Shvisas Bento. So the animals that belong to a non-Jew. Even if it's not 10 fucking deep. See base the shittas rach the kodim shloshim mutar and sham. Rabbeinu Chana allows going outside the tchum on the water if as long as it starts more than 3 days before. I guess according to Rabbeinu Chana also the caravan is mutar because he allows going in the caravan also more than 3 days before Shabbos, even though you're on the face of the earth. I'm not sure that works. Maybe he'll explain it later on. And then if afterwards some danger befalls him, the mutar chal Shabbos, that's great. The Sabbath we make because nefesh, because of life-threatening situations. When after meets starich, ba'atzim lasos malacha. Then even if he himself has no malacha, we chasvan esfina and make the boat go. Mutter Tzmiso came better since when he went in a way which is permitted. Test Kfaris Barba Bryce. Truth is Heaven. And it's because of Pikuach Nefesh. Even you went in Derech Isra, it should be also, but I guess it's saying it's like a Suffolk Pikuach Nefesh. Kfaris Barba Bryce already been cooked. I'm not even sure, but I'm not sure if that's the case. I don't know what the Kiddush is. That once it comes to Pikuach Nefesh, question whether you did something wrong or didn't do something wrong. Once it comes to Pikuach Nefesh, it's Pikuach Nefesh. Test the Kfaris Barba Bryce. So they become clarified Bryce. The Makom Karov in a place which is nearby. Come mitzvah like from Tyre to Sidon. Mutaf he can go and sail. I feel better of Shabbos and Boker in Erev Shabbos in the morning. Came to Ensham Elam Bahalach Yom Echad. It's only 1 day distance. Meish Efshal Sham Kshiyesh Ruach Tov because you get there when there's a good wind. Kodem Shabbos before Shabbos. Then I feel Atah and Ruach Tov. Even now there isn't a good wind. You can hope for the best and rely that it's going to be a good wind once you get seaborne. And afterwards there won't be a good wind. Don't come before Shabbos. It's not your problem. Let's swim better. I will show like we said before with the plane. Here we do see it. Arukh HaShulchan, a day or two into the day. Also, once even by a good wind, you won't be able to get there. Because the Tali B'richuk also has to do with the distance of the place, and its closeness. The reckoning has to be that with a good wind, you'll be able to get it for Shabbos. Obviously, with a jet plane, generally speaking, you would be allowed to get most planes, if you knew that with the normal jet engines, or if it's propeller plane, whatever. The point is that the airplane generates its own ruach tov, and then almost inevitably you'll get there for Shabbos, unless you really misplan. Welcome Shinoga Shlefli Erev Shabbos Klav Yil Derech Mor, place that is accustomed not to travel Erev Shabbos, even a short distance. And maflikim, you have to adhere to the custom. Vabonim ein cholim l'shanosim mashkibul avos. And we see in the Gemara that once the fathers accept upon themselves that chumrah, the children cannot change this what the forefathers accepted upon themselves. Levila flee. When they accepted not to sail, avagav d'chiklu shaita, even though for them it's a pressing matter, the kvar kiblu avosayim aleim, their forefathers already accepted this mode of behavior upon themselves.